What's happening, guys? Wednesday, and back on Project Duramax. Show you what's going on. Somebody took the bed off my truck here. There she is on a couple of sawhorses. I need to get it up a little higher to do some work on it, but I think what I'm going to do is just repair this bubblage on the front here and cut it in, and put it back on the truck and do the work on it when it's back on the truck. It's just too big of a pain in the ass, and I'll be pissed if I scratch it. Okay. Driver's side cab corner, we're going to peel some seam sealer out of there and cut some more of that out, and see what I can make out of that. I don't know if you can tell, I got the doors off the other side too. There's one, the rest of them are put away. I got 80% of this rocker cut out. I just needed to get the cab corner out. They're rusty pretty far up in there, so I want to get as much out as I can. That's where we're at for now. Got a new welding blanket there. Don't feel like putting the interior of my truck out when it catches on fire. So that's where I'm at for right now. And I screwed around all day yesterday working out here and got a bunch of tools on the table. And of course, stupid me, I've got this nice new service cart here and I don't have all my tools in it. So we're going to get the tools in the cart so I can use the damn thing today. So that's where we're at for now. I'm going to start cutting on this a little bit and I'll bring you back in a little bit. See ya. Hi-ho, guys. It is mid-afternoon update time. Here's where we are. I'm cutting and fitting the rocker before I cut any inner structure out. Obviously, I've cut the old rocker away. Where you see the red and black meat, I've got decent metal up there. We're going to scab them in at that point. And I had to put the rear door back on to make sure that things lined up. Now, one thing I can honestly say, when you do these, I mounted the latch to test the door. There's a lot of adjustment in that latch, but let's not get the cart before the horse. What I did is I took one of the old brackets for the door striker. This is actually spot welded to the underside of that rocker, and spot welded to the inner rocker. On these it's not done quite as such, but at the factory I'm sure they do it a little different. Now, that being said, what I did was I marked the center line of each of those holes in line with the center line with each of those holes. I still had the little nubs that the spot weld drill leaves. I set this back up like so and made some marks, and you can see I've got a little white hash mark there and there, which are in center line with those bolts, and those same marks are transferred behind to the top little bit of this. I guess I could have put a notch in each one of them. I may still do that, just so that that always lines up. I got some funky shit going on back there. The Chinese stampings probably aren't quite as good as the old factory ones, but I'm good with that. We'll make it work. So we know the door closes. I don't have the striker adjusted tight, but here's what I don't like. Yeah, there's our gap. We're clamped tight against the bottom of the inner rocker. They make them just enough off so they're not exact duplicates, but that's okay. It's the inner. The outer rocker will cover all that. I may have to make a little something to bridge that gap. And what I'm doing now, I've got a clamp there. I've got clamps underneath. I'm going to make a line with a scribe across the top of that where those two panels meet. That is going to get butt welded. If it was thinner metal, I'd lap weld it, but holy shit, they're so far off. I'm not sure that I can make that work without a lot of serious BFH bashing. So I'm going to try not to do that. I'm pretty good at doing the butt welds, especially if this is 14 gauge steel. This is thick stuff, and I have 023 wire in the welder. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It's dark in here. It's like a dungeon. I've got that one scribed out. I'm going to cut that flush with a cutoff wheel all the way down and underneath, and then I'm going to make sure I can get this one clamped up as a butt joint and make sure the door still closes and everything, and then I'm going to scribe the back one. So we're going to cut one at a time here. So that being said, I'll probably put you guys on the stand for a minute here, and we'll go from there. I'm going to shut you off while I go get the stand, and I'll be back. Alright, we're going to get that cut out. I want to take the clamps off of this, and we'll get her done. Hopefully without too much pain. Looks like I have a pretty nice scribe line here, so should be okay. If it's not, I'll have to put it back up. Oh, if you don't have a set of these with the flat grips on them, vice grips, those are pretty handy. I suppose you could make your own and put a couple pieces of flat stock on a whole pair of vice grips, close them, and weld some pads on them. That would probably work too. I just happen to have those. Those work pretty nice. You can never have too many clamps. Ever, forever. So you can see we've got about, I want to say, that's like you guys are 100 feet away from me here. Yeah, you can see the scribe mark okay in the camera. Got a couple of inches that have to come off, so I'm going to put safety glasses on and we're going to whack that. That's that for the moment. I'm going to have to get under here and drill some spot welds off. Maybe. here and then stuffed a drill bit in there to pilot it, and I just broke that. The spot weld drill. Yeah, let's just beat it into submission, I suppose. Yeah, baby. Alright, one more little touch-up thing here and I'll put it together. See what happens. Fitting repair panels like this is trial and error upon error upon error for me. Turns out to be. You gotta be pretty close. Here, I gotta cut some of that out. Okay. That'll give you some sort of idea of what's going on here. It's not perfect, but with this thick of sheet metal, I got you guys zoomed way the hell in here. I'll touch that up with a grinder so that it meets a little closer, but that's not going to be a problem. One thing you guys need to remember, first-time welders or people who've never done rust repair before on thin metal, clean both sides. There's a little bit of scale on the back side of this. Clean all that off shiny, at least an inch away from your weld zone or half an inch away, or that stuff will pop and it will contaminate the weld, and it'll look like, if you're running a MIG welder, it'll make it look like you don't have your gas on. It'll weld like shit and burn through it. Maybe not so much with this thicker metal, but the 20-22 gauge, you know, like what these doors are made out of, or that cab corner, you got to clean that up, and I'll show that process when I get to it. I'm still not ecstatic about how this lines up. We're closer, but we're not where I want to be. So gap's not bad underneath the door. I'm a little wide right here, but I'm going to get it as close as I can. That up there, I'm pretty much married to it because it's a butt joint already on that weld, so we already can tell. Sorry, I'm all over the place. You can already tell once I suck this in, so that this line here meets this over here, and this meets all nice. That is what it's going to be. There's not a whole lot else I know to do with that. So we'll revisit this later on. I'm going to scribe and mark and cut the back, and I'll show you what I got after that. Okay, see ya. Alright, kiddies. This is what's happening. Last frame I said I was going to cut that out back there, so I pulled the door off, cut it out, scribed it, and these rockers just don't fit where the fuck back here, but I'll make it work. And then I hacked the cab corner down because I don't need to go that high, just to see how close that was going to fit, and that looks like that's all going to work. So I'm going to stop here with this side. I'm going to move to the other side because I have inner rocker panel work to do on this side. I want to get both of those outers cut to where they need to be roughly so they fit in so I can sweep the goddamn floor. This place is a disaster in here. Obviously I've cleaned up. This is the driver's side. I'm going to move into this and see what the hell I can do here. I have to go a little higher with the driver cab corner because I cut too high. It was still a little scaly up in there though. But no biggie. I mean, the cab corner I'll probably take right somewhere in this line, and I'll still be able to break my paint in there, which is exactly what I want to be doing. So I'm going to cut a little bit more loose on this side. I'm going to sweep up my mess on the other side. And that's pretty much where I'm at end of day. It's 20 to 3 already, and I'll probably have another 2 to 2.5 hours in fitting this rocker in. So that may be it for today. I'm not sure. I already probably got 20 or 30 minutes of video going here. And the video, I don't know if you even got the video from last night, but I started uploading it and it told me 800 and some minutes, so I stopped it and restarted it. It said the same thing, so I let it go all night, and it was down to 120 minutes when I got up at 7:30 this morning. So I don't know if we were just having bad luck uploading, or if it was one of those situations where there's a lot of people on the internet. We were also using the internet last night, which slows upload time down. So I restarted it again this morning, and it immediately jumped to only 70 minutes left, so it must have known that I had personally uploaded it, but I'm going to look into that and see if it showed up or if it's corrupt. It may just end wherever I restarted it, so I may have to fight that one again today. So that's it for now. I'll catch you guys after a while or tomorrow. See ya. Alright, one thing I was talking about with the other side, it just dawned on me I should show you guys. Hopefully it's not zoomed in too far. I have this thing. This is the plate. It's spot welded in that inner rocker, and it was spot welded to this, that outer rocker. It was spot welded to this inner rocker. And what I'm going to do is locate where the bolt holes go for the door striker, and I'm just going to do like I did the other side and sort of eyeball those in. This is sitting right about where it was before. I'm going to take a body hammer and beat this thing straight. I mangled it a little bit. Figure out what the hell I did with this right in front of me. Straighten it out on the bench over here. I got a steel bench. Okay. Set this bad boy up here. And mark those holes so that when I set that new rocker up there, that all that jazz is where it's supposed to be. I'm putting a couple lines with the arrow on them to show where that bracket actually sits on there, just in case. But that's just for my own sake. I already whacked the front down a little bit, and I'm going to set this baby up here real quick. Of course, all my clamps are on the other side, so that's not doing me any good. Steel clamps from the other side. show you what I mean. Hope everybody's having a good day out there. I know I'm having a better day than yesterday. This thing was kicking my ass yesterday. It's the first set I've ever done on one of these 99 to 06 body style, I think. The new Silverado body style. I've done the old 80 style pickups before, and they don't have this thing in them. And I've never done an extended cab before either, so this is a new one. See, one thing I'm going to have to do, and that's do a little trim job back here on this other piece of rock. You guys can see this. These lines right here line up with those holes in the rocker, and I actually need to go forward about a 1/4 inch, and the only way I can do that right now is to get the front and back of this rocker fitting. So we'll do just like I did on the other side, and we will scribe that once I get it close and cut that off the cutoff wheel. And same thing with this side. Doesn't look like I foobarred this one as bad as the other one. The other one I'm going to have to, I got a little gap between here and the existing rocker. These aren't as tall, and I still got to dig all that damn foam out of there. So I got enough, I think I got enough rocker or cab corner cut out of the way here. I can do this job. I just got to start cutting away at this a little bit and give myself a little bit more room. And I think I'm going to start with the back side and just relieve a little bit of this, because what happened with the other side, and I'm sure it's going to happen with this side, you can already see it. I'm sitting straddling this part straddling the old rocker, and you can see some of the flange sticking out here from where the old one's welded on still, and it just, the new rocker is going to sit toward the front fender a little more in relation, but as long as this stuff lines up right here, we should be good to go, and that my door gap is correct underneath. And it worked out pretty good before. I just trimmed away some of this flange right here and started taking it over and cut that off, and that gave me enough room to do what I needed to do and start monkeying with it. I should be able to fill any gap that I have over there. I may have to piece a little piece of metal in the back corner, but that'll be that. So I'm going to get this squared away and start cutting, start losing my train of thought. It's only 3 o'clock, but I've been up since 6 this morning and I'm fading already. So I will show you more in a little bit. Alright guys, it's 5 o'clock. I think I said I was going to cut this video off and upload it earlier, but I kept going. Here's what we got. That's just loosely clamped up there. I was trying to get a rough idea on that cab corner. I fitted the door on this side. It latches and closes. And what I think I'm going to end up doing with both the front and rear welds, since these rockers are a little funky, get them to match height wise, you know, make it flush, all nice, and either behind the existing or the new, I'm going to weld a flange on the back of this so that I can slip it under one or the other. I'll probably weld it on this side. Haven't decided quite yet on that. And the same thing back here, because this shape is something else. It is not quite right. It's close, but it's not right. These are not GM factory rockers. These are aftermarkets, but they're not bad. I mean, for the price, I think I paid, I'm going to guess 150 or 175 a piece for them, and of course I cannibalized them. But I'm glad I did, because I have a feeling that they wouldn't have fit worth a shit if I would have tried to put them on an existing location. And of course, this rocker was only like, let's back that up, about that much taller anyway. This area doesn't fit too bad. It's behind the cab corner that fits like shit. But I'll take that cab corner loose. Hold on, I'm going to have to set you guys down. Okay, now you can see you got a little bit of gap back here, but I'll be able to push that and spot weld it back there. But okay, I can't even get my finger behind it there, but I can stick my whole finger in it right there. So we already know that there ain't no way that this is going to line up with this. This is going to have to either overlap or underlap, one of the two. I may cut a little bit more off of it in this area, because I'm going to do the same thing. I'll put a flange behind this so that I have something to weld, and I'll just fill that whole area. And then of course we'll beat it down and throw some Duraglass, short strand fiberglass, waterproof body filler, whatever you want to call it, in there, and that'll be that. But this rocker fits a little different than the passenger one did. We're a little low right here, and I might be able to tighten that up a little bit, but the door latch is nice where it's at, and I think it's just the way they're stamped. Aim that to what I'm pointing to. I'm not even paying attention here. But you know, all in all, no big deal. Here's our lines right here for where the bolts line up, and I mean, we're, I don't know, probably an eighth to a quarter off, but the door latch is nice. So as big as that striker is right there, and it does have some adjustment, so I can, once I get everything back together and get the weather strip on, I'll decide how tight I want to make those. Of course, the weather strips are old, so a lot of times you have to tighten them up a little bit. And anybody that works on these trucks, and you look at that, back up a little more, the size of that door opening, and there's no center post there, so something's going to twist and give, and you know, you're driving down the road over some bumps and you hear a squeakity squeakity. A lot of that's coming from those doors wiggling around, and then that breaks the paint off the top of that rocker, and you know, your hinge pins start to give out. I've done this side once, and the lower's still sloppy, the upper's tight. Passenger ones are nice. It's just the way this truck torques up. It twists hard on the driver's side, and tend to wear out those door hinges a little more. Plus, of course, you know, drivers getting in and out of the truck more than a passenger. I'm mostly solo in this vehicle over the span of its life. So that being said, you know, we got this one on, and I think I showed you the other side. I'm tired, I'm starting to ramble. I got the doors sitting in here so I can take them off and on. But same thing, this side, I just got the cab corner sort of smashed up on there, and the rocker's got one pair of vice grips holding on. It'll probably be on the floor when I get here in the morning, but that's where we're at for now. I'm going to have to go to the Standard Welding Supply tomorrow. I'm going to have them bend me up those inner rockers out of some sheet metal, probably 18 or 20 gauge. Something a little thinner than what I got out here appears to be what the inners are made out of. So I'll have some of that done up so that I can make some tabbing, or whatever you want to call it, to put on the back side to weld to, and I'll plug weld those all the way down, but I'll show you as I go. So that's it for tonight, guys. sorry there wasn't a lot of how-to. This is kind of how I do, and I'm kind of learning as I go, and I keep forgetting to press record. So I hope you get a little something out of this. I mean, I'm telling you where the pitfalls are as I come across them. If I was doing this real time, you guys would have had, well, let's see, it's 5 o'clock now, and I got here at 8:45 this morning, so you would have had a 7-hour video, roughly. And that's why I keep cutting it off and trying to make a little progress and show you what's happening. So I apologize for that. When I get to the body and paint part of it, I'll bring you guys along probably a lot more so that you can see how this is done. I mean, really, you're going to have body work in that little spot right there, and basically after that's all welded together and the welds grinded down and cleaned up, I will take a body hammer and beat that down just a little bit with the chisel side of the hammer and try and get a bit of that beat down in there, and then I'm going to throw fiberglass over that and then body filler, and the same thing with these back here. I mean, we don't really have much that you're going to see. All that you see is from here to right about there, because the cab corner covers that, and that's going to have seam sealer all over it. So there's really not much, and then the cab corner, the only body work that'll get done to that will be to feather it out into here and around the back corner. So there's minimal body work in doing this. It's all fabrication work and welding and cutting and beating and swearing, and you guys know the drill. Alright, guys, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Later.